We are live. Ding.
Just got your notification.
Okay, so that part's working. Anyway,
Be right back.
tomorrow is Easter. Woohoo.
And Will's birthday.
Yep, and Will's birthday.
And Addie's birthday.
So I can't see the YouTube side. I guess I could do it on my phone.
I have it on my phone.
If I could find it.
Just us so far. Unless there's other people listening and not in the chat.
Yeah. There we are.
It's a little delayed on the phone.
Yeah. Same for me. So. It's definitely different having glasses. But I can see. The only problem though is I can't see my phone with my glasses on
Yeah.
because I can see it far away because I'm farsighted with a slight stigmatism. So, nah, I gotta wear them all the time except for reading, especially for driving because I can't see the signs without them. I noticed that yesterday when we were, no, on Thursday when we picked them up. I put them on. I was like, holy moly, I can see. And then we went outside and I could see the U-Haul sign, which is far away from the entrance to where we went to get them. And I was like, I can see it says U-Haul on the trailer or on the trucks. It's like, wow, that's what I've been missing. I'm missing a lot. Waiting.
My
We
light
may be
just
the only
flickered.
ones. Huh?
My light just flickered.
Oh.
It's okay if we're the only ones.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you're new here, welcome. Today is an AA day. Um,
You're kind
I
of going
do
in
need
and
to
out.
tell people my battery's dead on my laptop. Let me plug me in. All right. Now I'm plugged in.
That's
That
a little
better?
better. A little bit.
My internet thing's in the window. because last night we were having problems with it. So
Now you're delayed.
really,
Now you're fine.
okay, crazy,
It was trying to
craziness.
catch up.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're new here, you're welcome. Here, I do AA live streams on Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. and Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, I do these meetings because there are people out there that don't feel comfortable going to a meeting or can't get to a meeting because they have other things going on or whatever. And one of my main goals here is to try to give the message out that I receive for free to others for free, um, especially those that can't get out and go to a meeting. Um, if you're here, thank you. Give a thumbs up because on my live streams, I tell people that if you don't want to be known that you're in my chat, don't put in chat that you're here. Just hit the like button. And if you're watching later and you have any questions, you can leave a comment. Because I will not be saying names of anybody that comes in that I have not already had permission to share their names. And because for some reason, it likes to upload my chat from StreamYard and it uploads it to YouTube.
I'm
So,
not quite sure how to delete it
yes. So if you're new
without
here,
without deleting the whole live stream.
yeah. So if you're new here, welcome. You can listen. You can chat if you want your name to be revealed or whatever. Um, but what I do is I put in my description the book that we're reading and the page and the step or tradition because that's the book that we're in right now. Um, I read the tradition, the steps and the traditions,
Well, you
and
read the steps.
yeah, my sister here helps me with the reading because sometimes it's a lot, and I do like to get through the step or the tradition all at once. Um, because then that way I don't have to keep going back and like confusing people on what step we're on or what tradition we're on because when I'm reading myself it gets to be too long and so I was having to break it up and so that's that. But I leave
No
in the
bullying.
description, huh?
No
Oh yeah,
bullying.
no bullying, no harassment, no rude comments, no judgment. This is a meeting and it's not a place for those things. So if you're going to do that, just find your way back out. And yeah. So, and then I do adventures I do my lives for that on uh, Wednesday mornings at 7:30 a.m. And then we go and raid other people's channels because they do the same for me. Um, so, anyways, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And we will start off with the prayer, and then I'll read the steps, and then we'll get into tradition. I think it's 8. Yes, tradition 8. So I gotta take my glasses off so I can see. God,
God,
grant me the serenity to accept the
the things
things
I
I
cannot
cannot change,
courage to change the things I can, and the
and the
wisdom
wisdom
to
to know
know
the
the
difference.
difference.
Usually we can say them at the same time. We like to talk at the same time, and sometimes it's the same thing. Oh, and we do that in text too. We'll be texting something, and we're both thinking the same thing and sending the same thing.
And we finish each other's sentences.
Yes, it's a twin thing. Okay, step one. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Okay. Tradition 8. Alcoholics Anonymous remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. Alcoholics Anonymous will never have a professional class. We have gained some understanding of the ancient word, freely ye have received, freely give. We have discovered that at the point of professionalism, money and spirituality do not mix. Almost no recovery from alcoholism has ever been brought about by the world's best professionals, whether medical or religious. We do not decry professionalism in our fields, but
Other
we
fields.
accept the sober fact that it does not work for us. Every time we have tried to professionalize our 12 steps, the results have been exactly the same. One single purpose has been
Our
defeated. Huh?
our single purpose.
Oh. Alcoholics simply will not listen to a paid 12 stepper almost from the beginning. We have been positive that face to face work with the alcoholic who suffers could be based only on the desire to help and be helped. When an AA talks for money, whether at a meeting or to a single newcomer, it can have a very bad effect on him or her. The money motive compromises him or her and everything he says and does for his prospect. This has always been so obvious that the only a very few AAs have ever worked the 12 step for free.
For fee.
Uh, Despite this certainty, It is nevertheless true that few subjects have been the cause of more contention within our fellowship than professionalism. Caretakers who swept floors, cooks who fried hamburgers, secretaries in offices, authors writing books, all these we have seen hotly assailed because they were, as their critics angrily remarked, making money out of AA, ignoring the fact that these labors were not 12-step jobs at all. The critics attack as AA professionals these workers of our who were often doing thankless tasks that no one else could or would do. Even greater furors were provoked when AA members began to run rest homes and farms for alcoholics when some hired out to corporations as professional men or women in charge of the alcoholics problem in industry. When some became nurses or on alcoholics ward, when others entered the field of alcoholic education, in all these instances and more, it was claimed that AA knowledge and expenses were being sold for money. Hence, these people too were professionals.
At last, however, a plain line of cleavage could be seen between professionalism and non professionalism. When we had agreed that the 12 step couldn't be sold for money, we had been wise. But when we had declared that our fellowship couldn't hire service workers, nor could any AA member carry our knowledge into other fields, we were taking the counsel of fear would today have fear which today has been largely dispelled in light of experience. Take the case of the club janitor and cook. If a club is going to function, it has to be habitable and hospitable. We tried volunteers who were quickly disenchanted with sweeping floors and brewing coffee 7 days a week. They just didn't show up. Even more important, an empty club couldn't answer its telephone, but it was an open invitation. To a drunk on a bench who possessed a spare key. So somebody had to look after the place full time. If we hired an alcoholic, he'd receive only what we'd have to pay a non alcoholic for the same job. The job was not to do 12-step work, it was to make 12-step work possible. It was a service position, pure and simple. Neither could AA itself function without full time workers. At the foundation, the intergroup offices, we couldn't employ non alcoholics as secretaries. We had to have people who knew the AA pitch. But the minute we hired them, the ultra controversial and fearful ones shrilled professionalism. At one period, the status of these faithful servants was almost unbearable. They weren't asked to speak at AA meetings because they were making money out of AA. At times, they were actually shunned by fellow members. Even the charitably disposed described them as a necessary evil. Committees took full advantage of this attitude to depress their salaries. They couldn't regain some measure of virtue, it was thought, if they worked for AA real cheap. These notions persisted for years. Then we saw that if a hard-working secretary answered the phone dozens of times a day, listened to 20 wailing wives, arranged hospitalization, and got sponsorship for 10 newcomers, and was gently diplomatic with the irate drunk who complained about the job she was doing and how she was overpaid, then such a person could surely not be called a professional. AA. She was not professionalizing the 12th step. She was just making it possible. She was helping to give the man or woman coming in the door the break he or she ought to have. Volunteer committeemen or women and assistants could be a great help, but they could not be expected to carry this load day in and day out.
At the foundation, the same story repeats itself. 8 tons of books and literature per month do not package and channel themselves all over the world. Sacks of on every conceivable AA problem, ranging from a lonely heart Eskimo to the growing pains of thousands of groups, must be answered by people who know. Right contact, contacts with the world outside have had to be maintained. AA's lifelines have to be tended. So why hire AA staff members?
So we hire.
Oh, we pay them well and they earn what they get. They are professional secretaries, but they certainly are not professional AAs. Perhaps the fear will always lurk in every AA heart that one day our name will be exploited by somebody for real cash. Even the suggestion of such a thing never fails to whip up a hurricane, and we have discovered that hurricanes have a way of mauling with equal severity both the just and the unjust. They are always unreasonable. No individual has been more buffeted, buffeted by such emotional gusts than those AAs bold enough to accept employment with outside agencies dealing with the alcohol problem. A university wanted an AA member to educate the public on alcoholism. A corporation wanted a professional man or woman familiar with the subject. A state drunk farm wanted a manager who could really handle inebriates.
Inebriates.
A city wanted an experienced social worker who understood what alcohol could do to a family. A state alcohol commission wanted a paid research. These are only a few of the jobs which AA members as individuals have been asked to fill. Now and then, AA members have bought farms of restaurants where badly beat up topers could find needed care. The question was, and sometimes still is, are such activities to be branded as professionalism under AA tradition? We think the answer is no. Members who select such full-time careers do not professionalize AA 12 steps. The road to this conclusion was long and rocky. At first, we couldn't see the real issue involved. In former days, the moment an AA hired out to search to such enterprises, he was immediately tempted to use the name Alcoholics Anonymous for publicity or money raising purpose. Drunk farms, education ventures, state legislatures, and commission advised the fact that AA members served them unthinkingly. AAs, though employed recklessly, broke animo- uh,
Anonymity.
yeah, to stump the club for their pet enterprise. For this reason, some very good causes and all connected with them suffered unjust criticism from AA's group. More often than not, these onslaughts
Onslaughts.
were spearheaded by the professionalism that guy is making money out of AA. Yet not a single one of them had been hired to do AA 12 step work. The violation in these instances was not professionalism at all. It was breaking anonymity. AA's sole purpose was being compromised, and the name of Alcoholics Anonymous was being misused.
It is significant now that almost no AA in our fellowship breaks anonymity at the public level, that nearly all these fears have subsided. We see that we have no right or need to discourage AAs who wish to work as individuals in these wider fields. It would be actually antisocial were we to forbid them. We cannot declare AA such a closed corporation that we keep our knowledge and experience top secret. If an AA member acting as a citizen can become a better researcher, educator, professional officer, then why not? Everybody gains and we have lost nothing. True, some of the projects to which AAs have attached themselves have been ill conceived, but that makes not the slightest difference with the principle involved. This is the exciting welter of events which has finally cast up AA's tradition of non professionalism. Our 12th step is never to be paid for, but those who labor in service for us are worthy of their hire. In other words, like this meeting right here is an AA meeting. It's non professional, it's not professionalism. It is a single um, single meeting. It's AA's meeting. You know, us being AA members is how it's an AA meeting. And
Yeah.
we don't get paid. We're not doing it for
Yep.
money. Completely free. All you gotta do is watch.
Yep. And that's one thing that I can say that I agree with because um my glasses are all smudged. I was given the gift for free of being an AA member and learning the steps and learning the traditions and learning the things that the tools that I needed to have to be able to successfully become a recovering alcoholic. Successfully right now. I'm not going to say that people don't go back out because I did, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I did.
I haven't.
Um,
I don't want to.
I
Knock
had
on
been,
wood.
yeah, I had been sober for a year before I actually started AA. So I was sober for that year, and then I went back out. So I know firsthand what it's like to go back out. And I tell you right now, it doesn't go slow. It goes pretty darn fast. You end up right back down at the bottom of the bottle, which I do not miss. And so I was given the gift for free, and I'm giving it for free. Um, I had always thought about doing an AA meeting on this platform because I know from the time that the world changed, because I can say it that way, um, when the world changed, I knew that a lot of people, weren't going to want to go back out because I didn't. I was scared. I was terrified. And I didn't go to meetings. I think I went to, what, two? In 2 years, I went to two meetings and maybe three. But I was right there with everybody else. I was terrified, and I was thinking, shoot, somebody ought to do this on YouTube or something. And then when I started my channel over a year ago, I was asking some of the first people that were like encouraging to me to start my channel. I was I had talked to one person. I was like, "What do you think I should do? Should I go ahead and do this or should I not?" And she was at that time like, "I don't know. People are kind of mean or what have you." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to do that." And then I was thinking about it again, and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to do it anyway." And the reason why is because it's free. It's free to go to AA. It's free to uh, drink coffee at AA. You don't have to pay for it. I mean, they do ask for a donation, but if you
They
don't
don't.
have it,
They don't really ask for donations.
no, they don't ask. They just pass around a basket, for the coffee and the literature
The
and stuff
rent.
like that, the rent and the utilities. But other than that, that's all they require, and it's really not that much. But again, you can go to the meeting for free. You don't have to pay for anything, and so that's what I'm doing here. I know I probably should change my name on here for
Make a
for
second
my
channel.
huh.
Make a second channel.
Well, no, I just changed my name in here. It would all be linked to one, but it would be a different name. But so I started it because I want to help people. I know when I was in my bad days, the first go around, um, I didn't want to listen to anybody. I didn't feel the need that I needed to quit. And so I just kept going. And then I moved I moved far away from home, and that's when I got sober. I was sober before I ever started AA. So I got sober on November 15th of 2015, or no, 2014. And I'm proud of being sober. I made it that far, and then I came back home, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, have you heard of AA?" And I had heard of AA when I was a little kid. My dad took us to one. Or not my dad, sorry. Rephrase that. Uh, our father took us to one because he was an alcoholic. I say was because he passed away still an alcoholic. He never got sober. But um, my dad is a totally different story. Um, he took care of us. But anyway, so I had a friend that I've been chatting with. I've known him since I was 16 years old. Um, so he was somebody that I really felt I could trust. And so I was texting with him, it's really hard to not drink and blah, blah, blah. And I'm a recovering alcoholic. Well, I guess I could say that because uh, I had already been sober. But he's like, well, there's an AA meeting. Would you like to meet me at one? In my hometown. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go meet you. Not a problem. And so I went out there, and I was in the meeting, and he came, and I was like, oh, my friend really did show up. And I did not say a word at that meeting other than I'm a recovering alcoholic. And but I did listen as best as I could because I need hearing devices to hear, and at that point I didn't have one. And so I really didn't get much of that meeting, but I knew it was something that I wanted to do. If I could have a way to be able to help me to stay sober, I was going to do it. And so I left that meeting with a list of people, females that were there at the meeting that I could contact and get a hold of someone if I needed some talking, somebody to talk to or whatever. And so I think it was a couple days later, I started calling the numbers, and the first person to answer their phone became my sponsor. I've had sponsors since my second meeting, the same sponsor. I don't talk to her every day, I don't talk to her every month, but I do. Um, every now and then I will reach out to her. But I have so many other people that I talk to that encourage me to stay on the sobriety train. And thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. But it's been 8 years and 8 years and almost 5 months for me. And it's been how long for you?
Almost 8 years.
Yes. And it's because we have AA. We know what we read our book, we go to meetings, not very often, but we do every now and then realize, hey, I need a meeting. And we will go to a meeting. So,
I have my meetings right here for free.
yep.
It's you know, at our group there is no paid person.
No,
Our
not at all.
secretary is not paid, our treasurer is not paid,
We don't have any of that.
you know.
We don't need it. I'm willing to go on my platform and help anyone that needs help to get sober. Um, like like one of my friends on YouTube, she's like, you can use it for everything, literally. And yeah, you can. I can see it. Um, I had quit smoking. I quit smoking for 60 days, and I was like, hot diggity dang, I'm going for a cigarette. So there's some things that you have to redo, like don't say that you're never going to go back, always keep in the back of your mind, I could slip up and end up going back out, which is not a good thing. I've had friends do that. So, and it breaks my heart when they do that. But, that is a thing that happens. What do you think about this tradition?
I, I think it's good that we don't uh, pay for stuff
Yeah,
like that. I do understand about paying for like the literature and that kind of thing because it does take working people to do those things, and
yeah,
we can't expect them to do it all for free. But
yeah,
individuals and individual groups do not pay its members for those services.
yeah,
It's volunteer. Like, say the person comes in early, opens the door, makes the coffee. Those people don't get paid.
no,
They're talking about like higher, um, higher up places
yeah,
that do the literature and do the like answering the phones, answering people's questions. The
mm,
people who take the money in from the groups and stuff, and they like the bigger place of AA to pay for those such things as literature, uh, hospital stuff like that,
also,
pamphlets and
yeah, also, um, no, I forgot what I was going to say.
I
Our
don't know.
individual groups. Now, the group that we go to, we do uh, potluck meetings.
Yeah.
Um, we do that once a year. And the guy that used to run ours, he ran it for many, many, many years. He just passed away this year. He's greatly missed. Um, but he did it for free. He would go down to the church and he would set everything, he would get the coffee going and all that stuff. And I had duties that I had to do also. I would put out the literature,
Well,
and
you didn't have to do it.
I
You
didn't
volunteered
have
to do it.
to. Yes. But I learned that that is a service. So, um, but like Lillian said, the AA as a whole pays for the literature, the conventions, because yes, we do conventions and we do um we don't, but the groups do.
Yeah.
Um they do stuff like that. Now I'm willing to do a meetup for AA, but everybody's gonna have to bring something. Um but also, if you don't have your books, you can get them on, I'm not affiliated with Amazon, but you can get them from Amazon, or you can get them from the AA, or you can even, uh, what's it called? Check them out at the library. You can get them everywhere. Uh, if you can't afford one, find a local meeting because they're everywhere. And ask if they happen to have a spare book. So I've had 3 or 4 of the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions books because I give them away. And I have had 2 or 3 of the big books because I've given them for free. So if you need that kind of stuff, there's always ways to find what you need. So reach out to your local, just put in your search box AA, and it will bring up a list of everything that you might want or think you may need. And it's not, we don't have racism. You're welcome no matter what walk of life you decide you have, whatever one you are on. And we don't judge people for anything. And that's how it needs to be. So come as you are. But that's that tradition.
Yep.
It's free, completely free. And that's why I'm giving it to everybody for free. So,
And that's why it is said that AA as a whole may employ not individual groups or individual
yes,
people.
yeah. But they have to have some people that they probably don't get paid very much. But they have to have some people that are like printing off the literature and making the books and all of that stuff. So, yes, there are people that, you know, are up there in the AA thing that they're doing those certain things. And I can guarantee you they don't get paid a lot because us AA groups can't afford a lot. So, you know, and if you're going to one for free, you ain't affording anything. You ain't got to pay for anything, you know. So, but that is my meeting for today. And thank you for watching. Um, being here in chat if that's where you are, or if you're just watching and listening. I appreciate you. And
Please
for
leave
the
a thumbs up.
yes, for the newcomers, um, leave us a thumbs up. Um, come back again, subscribe, and you'll be notified if you put on your little bell um, to notify you of my video, my live streams for AA and for my adventure part of my channel. So I do have someone working on a logo for my AA.
You have a logo.
Not for my AA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's new.
yeah, one of our neighbors offered.
Ah,
I'll tell you later.
okay. Cool.
But yeah. But anyways, that's my meeting, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter and enjoy being with your family and your friends. And
Check out
remember,
my check out my Easter video.
you're always welcome here. Um, and we love you, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Everybody can. You just have to want it for you, and you can do this. So I'm gonna close off with our Serenity Prayer, and I'll see you all on Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for AA. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It
It
works.
works if you work it.
Love you guys.